Okay. What's up, potheads and political junkies? You're watching Cannabis Culture News Live. I'm Matt Mernagh. I'm Jeremiah. The big SmokeDown today. Did you see my little logo that I made? I know you're a big wrestling fan, so I thought you'd appreciate the SmokeDown logo. Did you see it?
I saw it.
You saw it. That was my handiwork. It was the SmackDown. I don't know if that's still a show on WWE or what.
It is still a show.
Is it? See,
we're launching 420 Wrestling at some point, dedicated to wrestling fans who smoke weed with Mad Comics. So we're going to do that. So.
Matt Mernagh would have to be in on that. Does he still have his? Wasn't there not a website for a while?
Yeah, that's 420 Wrestling.
Right. Okay.
That's
my
project. So we're rocking it.
So on the show today, cannabis superhero Matt Mernahuana is in the house, and we'll have Kirk Tousaw also in the house, cannabis lawyer, working on a new case regarding the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and their bakery. That was an apartment was raided. Owen Smith was busted. Now that was a couple of years ago. They're finally in court, and Kirk is actually with something they call a voir dire challenge. It sounds like a French film, or something.
French porno. You gotta like
French art film.
French art film. Kirk Tousaw today talking about a voir dire, the French art film that he saw this weekend.
That's right. And so this is to challenge. Maybe you understand that a little bit better. This is to challenge the constitutionality of our marijuana laws within the case. It's like a case within a case kind of thing, right? And usually a judge will put some sort of a gag order on that, I guess. But this time around, they've allowed it all to be opened up. So
the voir dire, is my understanding, it is discovery. It is when they go in and they request documentation from the government to see what type of case they have, and they try and like dig out all the dirt on the government's case.
Right.
And I didn't know they were in the voir dire phase because we did see some information come up, which was the Victoria Island mayor. The letters that he wrote to help Canada on behalf of the Vics is going to play heavy on that case.
That's right. And actually, there was a letter also, I think, included in, there was a Times Colonist story about it. And in that story, at the end, they said there was even a letter from Health Canada saying that if it was extracted beforehand or from dried or something like that, it would be fine. But I guess they retracted that a few years afterwards. So cannabis bakeries, it's a big issue. A lot of people don't like to get their cannabinoids through smoking cannabis.
Or volcano
Or, exactly, some people can't use their lungs to get use their medicine. So, Mario, go on this way.
Yeah, straight down.
By the way, we also have a bunch of other people in the house here checking us out. I don't know, Greg, if that little other camera works. I kind of had it set up, but it looks like it's turned around. Marijuana Man's in the house, and Marijuana Man went to a lot of trouble to get us this volcano today.
Thanks, Marijuana Man.
He went to some serious work for that thing.
Didn't we just have to charm the pants off the girls next door?
Well, and of course, Marijuana Man's very good at doing that. So
that's what I thought I might.
And we're gonna be watching the chat today. Well, yeah, might as well get a look at the other people in the room. I don't know if you have access to the cameras. Can you switch us up? And you can. Somebody can.
I'll be watching the chat.
Oh, Marius will be watching the chat. So if you guys have questions or if you want to say something to us about what's happening, talk to Marius in the chat room.
We can't see you.
We can't. There's a little chat here, but it's pretty small. And I wear pretty thick glasses, and I still can't see it. So
lots of people are cheering for me.
Oh yeah, it's all about you, buddy.
Well,
Mick. Oh, Mick's in the audience here. And we thought Med Mark was going to be here in studio, but he's not here today. He's got other plans. And Al the Alchemist also. Unfortunately, if you guys were watching on Wednesday, we had a bit of a power issue. Right in the first few minutes of Marijuana Man's show and Al's show, the power just shut down. And yeah,
I blame the man.
Well, according to BC Hydro, there was some power outage at a local station. We found out later that it's our ancient building that may have been causing problems. This building that we're in, the CCHQ building, is actually 100 and... How old? 110, 12, 13, 14?
Yeah.
It's older than the Dominion building, which is the big historic one on the block here.
I saw a bunch of buildings this week when I was in Vancouver.
Did you?
I went out and saw a lot of big homes at the UBC way. And
tell us what you're doing in Vancouver.
Vacation, mostly. I'm resting up before I go on my court prep work, which I go to court March 5th and 6th. So I thought I'd come out here and get a lot of good energy from people like my friend.
Hell yeah, that's right.
My friend Sita, the weed guy, Remo, the urban grower. So I'm here rested, but also like getting a lot of energy because, you know, I'm going to hunker down come February. We're going to work on that case, work on the appeal. And our team's still going. The second quest is, of course, to check out all the dispensaries out here and make sure those dispensaries are at the Cannabis Champion level.
Right,
I've seen 3, and they're all...
You should have a little sticker that you could put on the window, approved by the Cannabis Champion of the universe.
I think we could do that.
You should really do that.
It's a good business.
Gets your nod. For a small fee, of course.
Well, I try, I've been checking out a lot of dispensaries. We saw a bunch. And I'm working on a strain guide, an enthusiast guide to marijuana strains. We're putting 150 strains in a book. It'll be out this fall at Chapters, Amazon, all the major bookstores. I've hooked up with a major serious publisher, and they are right behind what I'm doing. It's really exciting.
If you want to find out a lot about delicious new strains, you can visit this blog here, Matt's blog, Mernahuana.ca. It's Mernagh.ca actually, isn't it?
Yeah, Mernagh.ca. In Vancouver, I've discovered that you smoke a lot of the cheese is coming here. There's blue cheese, cheddar cheese, UK cheese.
Supposedly this is cheese, although it doesn't really seem like it to me, but that's what they're saying it is. That's false advertising here in Vancouver, I do believe.
That's what my book is about also. It's that just because it's labeled a strain doesn't mean it's actually that strain.
That's right.
Even with my own production here, these are all my own that I brought from my legal grow.
And I don't know if we can see those. Maybe you show some of those to the camera here. We'll make some space.
Here we go.
Pull the volcano back a bit.
There we go. Put these out here.
Nice.
So I brought all these jars through the airport screening without a medical marijuana card or really any proof other than I'm Matt Mernagh.
That's all you need, though. Well, and for people who don't know, Matt, maybe you should tell them who you are and your current status here in Canada, which is fairly unique, I would say.
It is on April 11th of this year, last year, sorry, my lawyer Paul Lewin and I struck down the marijuana law for personal possession and personal production of marijuana. For medical use. I have an illness, I have a brain tumor, I have scoliosis, and I have fibromyalgia. I should be in the medical marijuana program. My lawyer and I argued it's an illusion, it's not there, it does not exist.
Right.
We brought 22 people from across this great country of ours and said, hey, I have problems with this program too. Many from BC, many from, PI, all sorts of places. So by doing that, we brought in an expert on the pharmaceutical industry, someone who came out and said, unless there is advertising, of course doctors aren't going to know. Of course they're not going to prescribe medical marijuana if they don't have a pharma rep pushing the pills. So ultimately, the judge agreed with our argument that the program is an illusion, and he struck down those 2 laws, possession and production for your personal use.
Judge Taliano is
Judge Taliano.
What a guy. It's a great... His ruling was one of the most amazing things I've seen from any judge anywhere. I was shocked that he virtually agreed with everything you said and said doctors are gatekeepers in the current system we have, and they've effectively boycotted the system.
Yeah. So he struck down those 2 laws, and then recognizing that government moves slow, he gave them 90 days to respond. And within that supposed 90-day period, he granted me an exemption, a court order that says I am protected from those 2 laws to possess and grow my own. Technically, the possession law that he struck down is 3.3 kilos. So 7 pounds a pot. Wow. Theoretically, could probably carry on me,
but there was also production in there as well.
Production's the most important one. When Parker happened, they struck down just possession of marijuana. So in 2003, you could possess it but not buy it or grow it.
Right.
So what our new goal is that the law will get struck down sometime this summer, and that you'll be able to possess it and grow it.
And this was in an Ontario Superior Court, right?
Yes, the Ontario Superior Court, which is one of the higher courts in Ontario, but the next court appearance that we're making is the Ontario Court of Appeal, which my understanding from the new lawyers that I have, the same with Paul Lewin, is that we are, essentially the Ontario Court of Appeal is a review.
Yeah.
Did the judge make any mistakes? They cannot introduce new evidence. Everybody and their brother could be in the medical marijuana program, and they can't come into court and say that.
Right.
And so it's essentially just a review. Were there mistakes? Now, the fascinating thing, and the reason we have a lot of interveners like the HIV Legal Community Clinic in Toronto will be getting involved, the BCLA has called us. I mean, even the Manning Foundation gave us a little ringy-ding-ding there.
Wow, that's Preston Manning.
Yeah, Preston Manning's funding. and we're wondering, you know,
libertarian or something.
well, that's what they said. They're like,
Right.
this is very charter, and if they had read the website and realized I was a bit of a socialist.
Right.
And so I was like, hey, I'll work with whoever's on my side. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
There you go.
And so we'll take whomever is like, as long as you're true at heart and want to work with us.
If they want to help intervene, why not?
Yep. So that's where we're at. Just it's going to be a big slobber knocker because the ruling's 112 pages. It's very, very extensive.
Right.
It cites, you know, Morgan. It doesn't even. It cites all sorts of weed law, like Matt Mernag's case here out of the base.
Yeah.
That Kirk Tousaw did.
Right.
We also cite, most importantly, we cite Morgan Tyler. And Morgan Tyler is where the illusion of a program created by government comes in.
Right.
And now I see my case has gone in such, because we pulled out so many neat sources, I'm actually now reading that my case is being used in BC and going through the courts right now for assisted suicide.
Oh.
Because the judge in Italiano went very libertarian, I guess is what we would say, but he really weighed the fundamental freedoms that I had, and that is where these
doesn't happen very often in our court of law in this country.
Yeah. Where these lawyers, that's where all the lawyers on our side are very impressed with that he's done the amazing job of weighing personal.
Right.
Versus,
and that speaks to all kinds of other cases, not just pot. I mean,
exactly. So that my case could be used for. It's being used elsewhere. It's being used for sentencing. A lot of people now can, you know, get conditional discharges by going to court and saying I'm sick. And they have a lawyer saying, look, we're prepared just to get rid of this. This person's prepared to plead guilty.
Yeah.
And then judges are saying, well, we're not going to give them a sentence. And they use the Mernahuana rule.
Right.
So, and if you are charged, I'd like to remind people of this. If you are charged with, say, possession, or you're charged with production, you should hire a lawyer. Like I always say, hire a lawyer. Like, because to do it well, you need legal counsel. And that's the unfortunate thing. I mean, they are money.
And you can, I know David Malmo-Levine, though he's sort of taken the reins himself at his particular case, even just having a lawyer there, there's a lot that we like to contribute, like David did.
Yeah.
Even just having the lawyer there
helped you, and that's what I had.
Yeah.
What we suggest, and it's very somewhat, if you do it easily, is you ask the lawyer for clarification of the law. And what you say is, look, I've been charged with something that it might not be a crime.
Right.
In a year from now, it might not be a crime for 2 years from now. I would like to wait and see.
Yeah.
So you can get a timeout. That's happening in Toronto quite frequently. Even right in bail court, they're saying, look, this might not even be a crime in 2 years. Or even, you know, this summer in Ontario, we could strike down the law quite easily. If we're in court March 5th and 6th, I would expect a ruling within 60 days. So probably by, you know, a little after 420, but around the global marijuana march.
Right. Cool.
So that's where I'm at.
We'll definitely be talking again with you about that as things happen.
Of course.
You know what? We have to go to Kirk because he is on his way home from court right now, I guess. So we're going to be talking to him on the road. I'm going to take this bong rip, though. This will be the first one of the show. And, you know, we didn't play our music that we had here.
We'll get that because we'll do it.
Well, I'll play it right now anyway. This is because I'm not really sure. We haven't talked about what the rules are, anything like that. How is this even a showdown, really? It's just
no hope barred. Call the CCHQ 1-800 number and you declare the winner in the chat.
The chat you guys will be declaring the winner, I guess. All right, so I'm gonna hit this bong and then I'll load you one up.
That's the technique there, right? Look at that.
Yeah, you hit it twice. You hit it once all the way.
That's some serious one power there, but you do Pilates or yoga or
just bong hits for breakfast every day.
10 a day, I hear you do.
That's right, 10 reps of 10.
Reps of 10. You know, you really have to get, you know, that lung.
That's right.
You know, I've been working my abs up.
Oh my God, Solid. You love getting naked, don't you? This guy.
Take my clothes off now, didn't I?
That's really, as you strip, we'll play this music. Yeah, when you were at the Treating Yourself Expo, if I remember correctly, you were in your underwear.
Yeah, that's
for a good portion of it. It was a bit of a protest, I think, or something.
No, I think it was to get attention to our booth.
It was just wearing yourself out. It did. People gathered around. You were standing on a chair in your underwear. People came up like, "What's happening?" And it was just you standing there in your underwear.
If you sometimes gotta get attention for your issue, man.
I
You
agree.
gotta go out
Well, maybe we should have a
Call
segment of the
Tousaw.
show where we include you and you're just in your underwear.
there. I don't know.
I'm sure the ladies will love that one. With those abs you're working on there. Whew.
Thanks,
Okay, let's call Kirk here. Did you like the theme music?
man. That's great theme music.
Yeah, that's really rocky. It was kind of a wrestling theme.
I
We
love the
could've
Rocky
had-
theme. That's actually that was my music to get my mental head cleared when I go to court.
Right, was it?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That's the
If
way
you're
to
gonna
do
fight the man, make sure you have a playlist. Make sure you have a playlist.
it. Exactly. Now, hopefully you guys will be able to hear Kirk. Sometimes on his cell phone it's not as loud as it should be, but Kirk.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
You're great.
Excellent. And so you're just getting out of court now, I guess, and you're on your way. Why didn't, Kirk, you tell us about the latest case, the reason that we had you here? I did give a little explanation about the Cannabis Buyers Club and that they had a bakery there and Owen Smith got busted, but we haven't really taken it too far, so shed some light on it for us.
Yeah, so, you've got the basic facts of the event set out, and essentially, Owen Smith is admitted those guys. He's an employee of the Cannabis Buyers Club, being paid somewhere between $10 and $13 an hour. He's working in a bakery located in an apartment, and it ends up being the subject of a search warrant executed by police, who actually respond to sort of a complaint about smell and noise, and then subsequently get a warrant. And they find that it's a bakery for the Cannabis Buyers Club of Canada. That's an organization, a medical marijuana dispensary that provides cannabis and cannabis-based medicine to people suffering from permanent physical disabilities or conditions or diseases. And been operating in Victoria for more than a decade. The bakery has been operating as an apartment for several years without incident. But it leads to charges of possession of THC, one of the active compounds of marijuana, purpose of trafficking, and a charge of simple possession based on about 0.8 of a gram of dried marijuana that's located in plain view.
0.8 of a gram. Jeez.
So, essentially, the defense is a Constitutional Question Act application, making a claim for relief pursuant to the Charter, and we're going to be arguing that Section 7 of the Charter is engaged and infringed because the restrictions on the Health Canada program are such that even if you're authorized to possess dried marijuana from the Government of Canada, you are not entitled to extract the trichome, the active ingredients in any way. Can't really make the oils and the butters and the cookies and the topicals and the gel caps that Mr. Smith was making for the club. We think that's arbitrary. We think that people are entitled to do that. So that's one aspect of the case. We're also arguing that really Health Canada's response to all the other decisions, Hinting and Barrett and Mernagh, Parker even, has been inadequate and at this point reached the stage of contempt of court and to the point that Mr. Smith is entitled to a judicial stay proceeding. In other words, they have to judge throw the case out. So we've got a good first week. First week's just completed.
And how long will this case go, Kirk?
Sorry, I didn't hear that, Jeremy.
How long do you expect that the case will go? How many more days are scheduled?
Well, we've got 15 more days of trial scheduled, so 3 more work weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, we're basically through testimony from Ted Smith, who's the founder and I'd say the sort of main person at the Cannabis Buyers Club of Canada. It's an unincorporated association. But he testified to the history of the club and what it does and what my client, Mr. Owen Smith, did. And we got through the testimony of an exhibits officer who sort of took us through the scene, showed us the photographs of the DVD of the bakery. And Gail Quinn, who is a member of the club and also someone
I gotta say happy 420, Kirk.
Oh, happy 420 to you too, Jeremy.
But so, Kirk, now is this one of the first cases? I don't recall any other cases where baked goods played so heavily, and this whole idea of edibles. Is this breaking new ground here?
I didn't hear that again. Sorry, we've got a bit of a bad connection.
Oh, that's okay, Kirk. I'm wondering about the fact that it's edibles, that it's part of a bakery. Have we had other cases like this before in Canada?
Still in area, but in terms of baked goods and edibles, we expect to present expert testimony on Monday and Tuesday of next week to demonstrate to the court that, in fact, cannabis can be effective when the resin heads are extracted into oils and applied topically. It can be effective, particularly if ingested orally, especially when you're targeting gastrointestinal conditions or trying to deliver medicine to the site of the pathogen. It's one of these situations where the plant matter, the dried marijuana itself, is really just a carrier for the trichomes that contain the actual compound. And yet, you can have the plant matter, you can have the trichomes when they're attached to the plant matter, but all of a sudden you break them off either by dry sifting or by extracting the oil or butter, and it becomes an unlawful product, even if you're licensed. So our view is that's irrational and arbitrary. And, Mr. Smith was making products people simply can't access.
Right. So now, Kirk, can you tell us about this constitutional challenge within the case?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you know from prior court decisions, Section 7, protection of life, liberty, and the security of the person, is engaged by marijuana prohibition because of the threat to your liberty. It's particularly engaged by prohibition as applied to medical consumers because there's also a threat to life and security of the person, your physical and psychological integrity, and your autonomous right to make decisions about your body, particularly medical decisions. And so when laws infringe Section 7 of the Charter, they're only valid if they comport with principles of fundamental justice. And we say that it is absolutely arbitrary to have a medical regime that allows for less safe methods of ingestion, either smoking or otherwise, but prohibits safer and more effective modes of ingestion, i.e. topicals or edibles. And if we're able to carry our burden to demonstrate that the Charter is infringed by those restrictions, the Crown will be put to the test of justifying them. I don't frankly think that that's likely to occur. I don't think the Crown, if this is found to infringe Section 7, I don't think the Crown can be able to make out a Section 1 override of that infringement. So that's the Charter claim in a nutshell. We are also raising the access issue again, whether or not people can actually access the legal protections of the program in the first place. But that's not a major focus of our submissions in this case.
Cool. So, and Kirk, how far, like, if you win on this, then, what kind of a result would that be? Could this go beyond then and be used to challenge other cannabis cases and things like that?
I gotta apologize again, Jeremy. I'm just not hearing your question. There's a bit of an echo.
That's okay. Here, maybe if I get a little closer. Kirk, I was asking how far-ranging, like how wide would this be then if you did win? What is that any better?
Well, it has potentially far-reaching implications if we're successful. Certainly, any type of remedy argument is to be left until the end of the argument of the case. But the judge has the power to go as far as the court did in Parker, which is to strike down the prohibition on possession of marijuana.
So it could be a big case then. And Kirk, about the letters. Is he hearing me?
Is he here? Is he still there?
You still there, Kurt?
All right. I think he.
We may have lost him. Let's check him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost him. Well, that's okay. Oh, there he is. You there? You there, Kirk? Hey, man. You still there? I think we've lost him again.
Kirk Tousaw and his lack of cell phone technology.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's probably in a tunnel somewhere. Kirk? No, he's gone. I don't know. We can't hear him.
It's wet and rainy too here.
Yeah, well, that's all right. We got a lot of info there from Kirk, so that was interesting. Are you still there, Kirk? No, he's gone. We lost him. Mr. Kirk Tousaw, super lawyer extraordinaire.
Hardworking lawyer.
Hardworking. He does a lot of cannabis cases and has had lots of success in the past. But yeah, that's cool. So this sounds interesting.
He's running right up the side of us. That's great.
That's right. I know. And so
Essentially, right?
As you know, this is just going to keep happening because the truth stands. I mean, the way the law is now, it's not really constitutional. It's infringing on people's rights in a lot of ways. So
we're getting there. I mean, it's not that. I mean, Canada, it's looking at people are like their dark days were coming with Stephen Harper, but I mean, come on, we're fighting back. We got my case. You just heard this great case that Kirk Tousaw is working on.
Yeah.
So hey, he could have a ruling by the summer. That's fantastic. Some of the other things, I mean, the Liberals were in the news recently with their convention, which is what exactly I predicted would happen a week before when I heard that the brass was going to pitch the Liberal marijuana plan. I'm like, yeah, that's just
so, and that was the young Liberals who actually pitched the plan in the first place, and it got 77% positive vote from the members of the Liberal Party, from the conventioners. And I guess now they also voted to open it up so other people can vote for the leader, and there's a couple other things they changed.
Now that's quite funny. They haven't quite. The only thing that you really learned about coming out of that convention was that the Liberals wanted to legalize marijuana, right? You didn't hear how they were going to choose their leader. Of course, that's how the press covered. That's why the Liberals did that.
It was a big.
We need attention for. Do the marijuana move.
Well,
the Liberals in their book have a marijuana move. Whenever they're in trouble, they go and pitch marijuana.
They've been doing it for a while. Yeah, Chrétien mastered that one, didn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's hold our horses on it. But hey, it's good news anyway.
It works.
More Canadian, but just more media.
Now we have to hold their feet to the fire on it when they eventually do gain some power. See, they're third on they're a fringe party now. And I really do like Bob Rae. I've actually liked Bob Rae for a while. I always thought he was better than Dion or Michael Ignatieff, for God's sake. He was the worst.
He was the worst.
Oh God, and yeah, so I don't know. It was good to see. You see how they played both sides of the fence on it, or Bob did anyway. He came out against the resolution, but knew it was going to pass. And then when it passed, he totally supported it wholeheartedly.
Because his party supported it.
Right, and 77%, that's a message there.
I'd rather be kicked in the nuts by Stephen Harper and the Conservatives than stabbed in the back by a Liberal any day. At least you know where they're coming from. I mean, this is a Liberal Party that had two of the largest majorities in history, wanted to bring in decrim just before the end.
Right.
And they took the bill to Washington to the White House.
Right.
Put Kirk Tousaw back on the line.
We could. We can try and get him again.
Or he's ringing us back.
No, he sent me a text that said, I could hear you.
I could hear you.
We couldn't hear him.
Oh, well.
Couldn't hear you, Kirk.
Sorry, buddy.
Well, so actually, I'm going to play a little clip here. This is the Liberal, young Liberal. I'm not really sure who he is within the Young Liberals, but he's one of the main advocates of this legalization drive. And actually, he did a really great job in this little clip on power play. I can't remember the name of the journalist either. I should have all this stuff written down. Good Lord. At least I'm honest about it. I don't know who these people are. Just watch this clip.
We're here to get high.
Exactly.
Welcome back to Power Play. Well, some called it the high point of the Liberal Party convention when they voted to stand for legalized marijuana. Others felt it was a bit of a drag. Joining me is Sam Lavoie. He's president of the Young Liberals of Canada. Sam, why legalization instead of decriminalization?
Well, we felt that we were, the party was ready for a bolder approach, and so by going to legalization, we were expanding the debate. Obviously, there is an upside to legalization over decriminalization, because it allows for more regulation, it allows for tax revenues, which we could then use on things such as educating people about drugs and prevention and who knows what else. We're talking about billions of dollars. So we felt, given the kind of the conservative policies we've had on crime thus far, that the party was ready for a bold approach and to really engage Canadians, and young Canadians, but all Canadians on this issue.
So the bottom line is if it's legalized, you can then charge, retail it, collect taxes, a lot of taxes, one presumes, whereas decriminalization, you're still going to leave it in the hands of the criminals, basically,
exactly.
to sell it, right?
Exactly. Why would we let the money in the hands of the Hells Angels or the mafia when we can have it do positive things for Canadians?
How, where was its origins from, this particular resolution that went forward, and were you surprised at the strong showing in favor of it?
Well, we've had this policy, or policy on marijuana, for the last several biennials.
Legalization or was it decriminalization?
We had both, I think,
okay.
back in the days. So this time, though, because of how the debate has been evolving, especially the economics of it, and the fact that the war on drugs has been such a failure in the United States, now in Mexico, and even in Canada, and we felt that the public mood was shifting a bit, and that there was more room for debate. Thus, we brought it back. In terms of support, 77% of the members in the room voted in favor of our resolution. That's a bit more than we expected, but I thought we could get 2/3 majority for sure.
Did you needed 2/3 to have this pass, right?
No, I think it was only for constitutional amendments do we need 2/3 majority.
Are you worried as a young Liberal that this will harm the party because it'll be seen as too progressive maybe on drugs, too soft on crime?
Absolutely not. I mean, I've stopped caring about what the Conservatives said about Liberal policies a long time ago, and I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I think we need to stop being worried about what the Conservatives or others will think of our policies. We need to engage Canadians and show them that we're willing to take bold stances. If the Conservatives want to call our policies soft on crime, then perhaps we should call their policies dumb on crime, because that's what all the evidence suggests that they've been doing, that their policies are simply dumb on crime. So I have no issue having this debate with anyone.
What other areas in drug policy do you see coming from the young Liberals? Like, I mean, the Liberals, I think, support safe injection sites and areas like that. Do you see any other modifications in terms of drug policy that would stand different from the Conservatives?
I think safe injection sites have been one we brought forward in the last few years. It's an important one. But right now, I think the focus is really on marijuana, and so we'll focus on this one, and there's no other agenda than this one.
You do note that you also voted to give the leader a veto over policy, so have you basically said to him, you can kill this off if you want and go with just decriminalization?
Well, I did not vote for this personally, but I know the membership chose that, and I respect that. At the end of the day, the motion passed with 77% of support from membership. It's going to be a very difficult motion to ignore for any leader, and I think the membership choice is very clear. So, and polls show that Canadians are willing to have this debate and are supportive of either decriminalization or legalization. So, in my view, it's sensible policy, it's good politics, and why not discuss it?
Tell me a little bit quickly about the youth at the convention. I was surprised. I was down there for Friday particularly, and the place was rocking with kids under 20 or under 30. What were the numbers like for young people?
A third of the delegates were under 30 years old, and that include around 700 young Liberals under the age of 26 years old. So it is, as far as young Liberal participation, it's an all-time high for a non-policy, for a non-leadership convention. So we're very happy. It shows that the party is not dead, and that young people want to become stakeholders, have a bigger say, and make sure that we are in good shape in 2015 and beyond.
Well, you sure put the party back in the Liberal Party from the hospitality suites Friday. Okay, Sam Lavoie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Oh,
See, I have people on my side.
there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
I think she's on my side too, actually. If you ask her.
I told her she should just come up.
I did. She was downstairs. Now we're back on the air. We're back. Yeah. We can keep going through your Twitter account now.
All right,
You
go
have
ahead.
quite a following on Twitter. I think 4,000 and something.
8,500.
8,500 following you. No.
I think so.
85? Oh, okay. I guess you'd know better than me.
I think I followed 4,200 of them.
Oh, maybe I was looking at who you were following.
I follow like 42, of which I've broken down.
Wow, that's a
into
lot of
3
people to
categories.
follow. You must get just coming through mad.
Well, I have
pace.
like one that just goes out of mad pace, and then I have like another one, and then it's all filtered.
Right.
You got to go through several filters to like, you know, for me really to keep an eye on it.
Right, I see. And so, how do you determine who you keep an eye on?
Usually, if you tweet your boobs,
Right.
that's a good
That's how
way.
you get your.
You know, that's like boobs and bong rips, you know.
Right.
You know.
Well, there you
Flirt
go.
with me. Flirt
There you
with
go,
me, make me
ladies
so
and gentlemen.
sexy.
Yeah.
It gets
For all the
better.
guys out there who are.
Oh yeah, I don't follow a lot of guys. Like, what's the point of following a guy? You know. Agreed.
Usually the boobs are much smaller. Some of them, not all of them.
You ever seen
Some
big
pretty
man
big,
boobs?
big man boobs. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking man boobs.
Man boobs.
Man boobs.
So there's other stuff going on in the news here that I wanted to talk to the audience about. Oh, that's all right. You can take the set down.
Are you talking about the guy in Poland who smoked in Parliament?
Oh, this guy. Yeah, I wasn't talking about that, but you
There's
should.
a fellow
I
in an MP in the Polish Parliament.
I'm gonna take a rip out the bag.
An MP in the
Second
Polish Parliament is smoking marijuana to test for the country's decriminalization law. I think that's pretty, you know, that's taking it up a notch. So that's happening in world news anyway, that I've been following. I'm like, yeah, right on! You're an MP. Smoke weed.
Yeah.
Make better laws.
That's pretty cool.
I
That
think
was
they smoke pot.
to happen today at some point.
No, that was going to happen today at some point. So
Right.
happy pot in Poland Day.
Hopefully there'll be footage of it. That would be really
There was
cool.
news. What else?
There's been other people that happened here in Canada where Sam Malachi, I think.
Yes, he was a visitor. He was in the visitor gallery
Visitor.
smoking pot. But this guy's going to smoke pot right on the floor.
That's pretty amazing.
He might be held in contempt of Parliament or something.
Oh.
stupid. See, you gotta think
It'll
of all these
It'll make international news, I'm sure.
for sure.
That was quite the bomb rip there. See, I cleaned the bowl, and now you can take a real bomb rip out of this thing.
All right, now we're ready with some more
Now
OG
you can get this
18. That I'm told smells a lot like eucalyptus.
Oh yeah. Well, there's this stuff too.
Here, I got some more of this over here. Put that
Okay,
in
put
the
that in there. Okay.
All right. I think like I said, I brought 9 strains.
That's crazy.
I've picked up 10 since I've been here.
Wow.
I've just found.
You come across them.
I've come across it. You go to Vancouver, you just come across it.
Yeah.
It just arrives. It's just somehow in your pocket one day, and you're like, "Where'd
Well,
this come from?"
where did you go when you were in Vancouver?
I've been to the I Medicate Lounge,
Yeah.
or the dispensary. Sorry, I Medicate
Yes.
dispensary.
Yes.
Don't ask me where they are because I don't really know.
You
I'm
can
just
put the
not
information.
familiar.
up
But
in the
iMedicate.ca.
show notes afterwards, yeah.
I've been to I Medicate 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And they were-
I haven't been to the second location yet.
The second location is fantastic. You can see my bodyguard when in Vancouver. I have a bodyguard. His name is Super Mike.
Super Mike.
Yeah, he's like this.
Super Mike, and he's a big guy.
He's a real big guy. He
Here,
would
you
pick me
take
up
this.
and carry me. Take this.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's always my goal in life, just be carried by a bodyguard.
That's a pretty lofty goal.
It is a lofty goal. So I've been to, and then we went to Yaletown.
Kind of
We,
like Houston.
yeah.
Kevin Costner.
Well, hopefully it'd be a check.
I checked when you carrying you.
Possible. I only weigh 100 pounds.
I was gonna do the music and then say in this corner, and when I said you, I was gonna say like
95-pound weekly.
80 pounds wet wearing boots. Looking at those abs.
It's,
Oh, here. Whoa, that's only half the bomb right there, brother.
okay.
Oh, here. There you go. There you go. See now. Ooh. Oh, that was a big one. See, that's with a clean bowl. That's what happens. That's Princess. Princess is pretty crazy. It's got a big chamber down here that fills up. I still see a little smoke in there though.
Oh, that's stale now.
Yeah.
Unlike the volcano.
Unlike the volcano.
It
It never
never
goes stale. That's one of the benefits of vaporizing.
And the other benefit being is that you don't lose as much marijuana. I mean, your lighter's going off at about 800 Fahrenheit. And so
Right.
you're really scorching it and like burning it harsh and hot. That's what I just experienced. Your volcano, as you can see, is only going off at 385, which is just above, the temperature to boil off.
I was going to ask you, what are your favorite temperatures Do you change them as you go up? Like, say, usually when I smoke out of my volcano, I hit the bag 3 times with about half a gram or something, right?
Right.
And so, I don't know, what do you use for temperature?
385 is a good temperature.
And you
for
just like it
all.
constant?
Usually I go up to like 4.2. You know, you want a temperature. If an indica needs to like really be hammered, because the indicas, like the trichomes, are in that waxy end, it's a little heavier.
Yeah.
You really have to bounce through that. And so I prefer a higher temperature for indicas, a lower temperature for sativas. And I always encourage people to like play around with it, see what they like, and you'll find the temperature for new. Some people have come into Vapor Central and brought it right down to like 200 Fahrenheit, which is, let me show you that neat trick there. 196 Celsius. And then a lot of people were like, how do you guys do that? And you actually like just punch this button here. You punch both
At the same time. See, I don't have a digital volcano.
I'm the Cannabis Champion of the world. Of course I have.
You have a digital one. Well,
Brandon wants to know if you guys use a DBV. I don't know what that is.
DBV. What's a DBV?
I don't know.
You tell us, Brandon.
Okay.
We'll find out.
I'm gonna
So
have to
yeah, that's cool. Volcano tips. Actually, did you and Chris together not write an article? Or maybe that was just Chris. I can't remember. Maybe it was somebody else. You guys did an article though about
We've done a couple of different ways to vaporize.
Yeah, and it was published on Cannabis Culture, if I remember correctly.
That's exactly. And we taught you how to open a vapor lounge. Dude, Chris did one on about 6 years ago, taught people how to open up marijuana vapor lounges when Chris opened the first one in Hamilton. Good times. So check those articles out. They're still somewhat relevant. I just got a question the other day from someone talking about whether or not he should open a vapor lounge. And
what do you think now?
Well, I mean, we're going to get under review in Toronto, but Normal Canada, the director there, Paul Lewin, the Ontario director, will be appearing before Toronto City Council, and I'll give you this piece of news.
Oh, breaking news.
But I do need a tissue.
Oh, you
From
do?
the bong rip there.
Oh, that's got you teary-eyed, huh?
Got me a little teary-eyed.
Crying like a baby?
Crying like a baby.
Crying
Got me
like a
down,
baby.
going down.
That was some of your tough talk.
That was my tough weed, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
My own weed just hit me right in the butt.
That's
See?
true.
Oh, look, my team Cita is coming through for me. I now have a tissue.
He's got.
Oh, thankfully.
He's got weed issues.
I have weed
Give him a tissue.
Oh, I'm crying like
What do we got there, Marius?
I do believe what he's talking about, the DBV. That's Buddha's vapor.
Oh!
I've never used that.
That thing looks cool.
Does look
Show
good.
it to the camera. Are you able?
I think that's what he was talking about there. How's that coming up?
Where'd that vapor go?
Yeah, there you go. They can see it.
Okay.
All right, well that was cool. I've never smoked it. No.
I've never tried it. My
Has
second
Brandon?
favorite volcano, or vaporizer, I should say, it's Herbal Air. And I
Herbal
also
Air.
recommend the Oracle if you can find it, though. But the Herbal Air is fantastic. It's Canadian.
Right. And what about like the little portable guys?
I've never tried the portable guy yet.
No.
So
Oh.
I only recommend things that I use.
Right. Well, that's called journalistic integrity.
But you can't send me crap or your merchandise in the mail, and I will try it out. I mean, we've been trying out the Pollen Master
Your
from
crap.
From
Send me
Green Harvest.
crap and I'll
I'm gonna
review
be
it.
like, my goal.
Shit,
You want to know what my goal in life is? To dress like a NASCAR race driver and just have sponsorship logos everywhere.
That's your goal in life.
That's my
I've heard
life
you say
goal.
that about a few things, but you have a lot of goals.
I do have a lot of goals.
Yeah, that's a good goal, though. I think you'd probably be a rich man if you were able to pull it off.
I know.
But you
So
have
if
to
you're a
be,
marijuana company
you
out
have
there,
to be
you
in the
can
media a
sponsor.
lot. See, really, there's only room for like one person like that every 5 or 10 years. You see that occasionally. Like I saw that on CNN maybe 5 years ago, where these 2 kids came out and they're like, "Yeah, we're sponsored as human beings, and yeah, we put out a press release and CNN paid attention to it, and that's how they got their gig." And then they were wearing like whatever it was that they were sponsoring, right?
That's right.
But you can really only do that because it only makes news every once in a while. If everybody started doing it, it wouldn't be news anymore.
I have my show on Tuesday for 3 hours at Vapor Central. You can tune in there.
Well, and you should be telling the audience about that because we do have a lot of viewers here that
That's
are
right.
watching right now. And
It's the Weedy Variety Show live from Vapor Central. That's our gig. You guys have a studio, you have lights, you have all this. We broadcast a 420 session every hour as we go from the East Coast to the West Coast at Vapor Central. But the best part is that we don't face Vapor Central audience. We actually face the camera, and the camera shoots into the lounge. So it's like a virtual session with the guys at Vapor Central. Right. It's a weedy variety show. We have more shenanigans than the House of Commons.
More shenanigans than the House of Commons. That's a lot of shenanigans.
That is like probably some of the best shenanigans
I was hoping that Vapor Central might be in the audience here.
That is true, but
I'm not sure if they have it. Marius, is Vapor Central around?
They don't seem to be there yet.
Have you seen Vapor Central in the chat at all?
Yeah, they're just asking where it is. I said
667 Yonge Street, 2nd floor, Toronto, Ontario.
Right.
You can find me there every Tuesday.
On Mix Show, we had Vapor Central joining live in a simulcast, and live stream allows us just to go right into the Vapor Central.
I know.
So, and you know what? We don't actually play your show on Pod TV, if I recall.
I know. I don't
know. It should
be
on Pod TV.
It should be.
And then people would.
And then I can get to my ultimate goal of pouring myself with logos.
That's right. So what kind of
but
logos?
in a good way.
What logos would you put on yourself?
Well, right now
we can do a Cannabis Culture logo on you.
Well, there we go. I'm sponsored by CDEC Green Harvest there.
There you go.
My Medicaid.
Where's the logos?
I'm not wearing any of the logos.
What the hell?
Steve's gonna get mad.
They're not getting their money.
They're not getting their money with today.
You better flash those logos.
Oh, wait!
You should put that in front of the camera.
Oh, yeah. See, now I'm logoed up. This is backside, isn't it? See? See? Right there. Aha! Light goal accomplished,
There you go.
That's why I'm the
Take
champ.
it on.
That's why I'm the
And
champ.
then you just need a whole bunch more all over there.
That's right. So you can buy this body
Show
on both
the back
sides.
to the camera so they can't see it.
For a very small fee, you can have a piece of that body.
Yeah, you can have a piece of the action.
It's very cheap.
And check out greenharvest.ca.
Green Harvest.
And you can buy the format. On the Mernahuana show, we
Yes.
actually, when Bill C10 was coming up, we went out and we tumbled some hash.
Nice.
Live on the Mernahuana show. So those are the crazy shenanigans that we get up to, is that, you know, the boys were making hash. It's the second, and live in a lounge, like right publicly done.
Nice.
We were like breaking the law that day, right there. Like you could come walk right into Vapor Central or get
More shenanigans than the House of Commons.
More shenanigans than the House of Commons. Lots of, you just never know who's going to show up on the show. We have the potheads.
Who shows up?
Well, the potheads who don't smoke swag. I mean, Matty Oliver does a sports report. I mean, what weed show has a sports report? You know, this is the only weed show that comes in and we come in with a sports
That's
report.
pretty cool.
I have a nutritionist on the program trying to teach me about good health and good eating habits. She's a medical marijuana user,
Tuesdays.
Tamara Smash.
1:30 it starts, or what time?
Starts at 1:20 your time.
1:20 our
Pacific.
time, Pacific time.
Notice how I'm not jet lagged this time?
Right.
Last time I needed the wall.
You were on the show. When was that? I don't even.
That was at
remember
the NDP convention in June
Oh, yeah.
of last year. And we were here for that. And
You were a little jet lagged.
jet
You
lagged.
couldn't take it. You were like, no more.
My hands kept going though.
It's true.
It's true.
Even though you tried to deny it, you continued.
Yeah,
I'd say you hold down the title of champion pretty well.
Thanks, buddy. You're good. You know, your show has gotten quite better now that you smoke more weed on it. But and then you're like, hey, let's just have a Wednesday show where we really smoke a lot of weed.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And then you did
can't
your
really
Monday
take
show.
that
You
on.
really expanded.
We have expanded the live shows. We like the live shows. And there's at least 100 people out there who like them as well.
Hey, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And it's
That's
one
right.
day you will have your own Weed Wars show.
Oh, on Discovery Channel?
Well, no, wait,
That'd be
we're not
great.
going to sell it to Discovery.
You and
We'll be
me.
like Space or...
Yeah,
We'll
Space,
find a really good
Space Channel.
Oh, wow.
Space out.
Potheads in space.
I'm still trying to sell myself in Toronto as a reality show. Jillian Hollander and I, the Madam of Cupid's Escort, hang out quite frequently.
Right.
So, as you can
You've
see...
mentioned her a couple times. Then.
Yeah, we made
she did the
crafts
belt.
together. She made the belt.
Hold this belt up.
There we go.
That thing is crazy.
There you guys
That
go.
thing is too awesome. So you wear that out?
I do wear that out in public. And I will be bringing it to the Ontario
It's just you
Court
in
of
your
Appeal.
underwear with that belt on.
I'm bringing it to the Ontario Court of Appeal. Matty Oliver, my trainer in Toronto, will be carrying it behind me and yelling things like, "The champ is here!"
Nice.
You know, and those are shenanigans that we're going to get out to before we get to court.
Hilarious.
You know, it's
Do the media pay attention to this belt?
yeah. Actually, I did News Talk 1010 where I'm the marijuana bureau chief, which people might not know here, News Talk 1010 is the conservative talk radio in Toronto.
Really?
Yeah. They needed a
And you're the marijuana bureau chief.
and they needed someone who knew about marijuana and could explain it to their viewer or the listeners in an exceeding, in a good way, like a smart way. So we,
So who they get?
they got me. And in fact, the last time I was introduced as the self-proclaimed cannabis champion of the world.
Self-proclaimed champion of the universe.
Yeah. So.
Why stop at the world?
That's I don't know about the universe.
You don't know, buddy. Well, if we're doing the
Find
show
out
on the
there.
Space Channel,
That's
then we'll
okay.
find out. I guess that's our 5-year mission, to boldly go where no pothead has gone in space.
That's true. The space network.
So there's more news I wanted to talk about because other things happened this week. Crazy things. One was a poll that came out showing that 73% of people in British Columbia want to legalize or decriminalize, and that 66% of people across Canada want to legalize or decriminalize marijuana. So that's pretty amazing. And the poll itself showed that even conservative voters said, in some crazy number here, I'll pull it up, I think it was 59% of them wanted to also decriminalize or legalize marijuana. So that's a cool study. Hopefully, see, there's no excuse anymore. We have former mayors of Vancouver. There's 4 of them that have come out and said that they support legalizing. We have a current mayor here in Vancouver. I've been trying to get a hold of Christy Clark's office. I've been phoning them repeatedly.
You should get your current mayor, so issue vapor lounge permits.
That would be very well. See, yeah,
And then you could get hundreds of them in this area.
but then they could be taken away.
Well, permits, it's never, you got to make the first steps towards normalization of cannabis laws, and I think.
How does that work in Toronto?
Well, Toronto, that's what, back to the news I was going to give you.
Right.
Paul Lewin, the normal director, is meeting with, get this, Mike Layton of the Toronto City Council to discuss the idea of permitting vapor lounges. Paul called me at the airport before I went through screening with this big bag of weed.
Whoa.
And we talked about how to talk to Mr. Layton, that is Mike Layton, which is Jack Layton's son.
Right.
He is a first-term Toronto City Councillor, and we're pitching to him the idea of issuing permits to vapor lounges in the City of Toronto. That way the City of Toronto can say, we don't want vapor lounges in residential neighborhoods, we don't want them near schools, but you know what? Where we are, Vapor Central at 667 Yonge Street, 2nd floor, we are not near schools. We are in a place that is right down the street from a strip club, right?
Right.
So we're in the neighborhood of fruitware places in Toronto. That we have an entertainment district. We have places where these places should be. The gay neighborhoods and whatnot would want them.
Right.
And so we're going to pitch to Mr. Layton
Trying to piss off grandma and grandpa in the residential neighborhood.
of Etobicoke.
Right.
Right. So
Well, that's cool. But now you guys are having some issues there with the law. or
that's
with
why it's coming
the
up.
mayor's office, is it?
Well, it's not the mayor's office. It's Mark Grimes of Etobicoke North. He's got a little bee in his bonnet, and they're going to send the motion. They're sending a review
Right.
to the Licensing and Standards Board. That's why we had to come up with this. You come up with a strong defense. Isn't like, oh, lie on our backs and play dead. No, they're going to review it by talking to the Toronto Public Health, Toronto Police Service, and the Licensing and Standards Board to figure out how vapor lounges came into existence.
Right.
What we're thinking is that our counterpunch is, look, you can just license us. And that's what our response is going to be, is that we want these lounges. And the way the council is that we are under a conservative-leaning fat fuck. He is predominantly...
Your mayor.
Yes.
Yeah. And
He
did
looks
you
like
meet him
Chris
recently?
Brown. I
or-
did.
You met him. And what
I
happened?
put the levy. We wished each other a good New Year's because, even though you're your enemies and you're against these
He
people,
knows who you are.
yeah, but at the same time, it's like New Year's. Like, man, one day a year, I'm prepared to stand beside you and say, hey, happy
Give him
New
a
Year.
kiss under the mistletoe. I should have.
Ah.
Just jump up on him like
Oh.
Bugs Bunny.
Oh, man, people were trying to jump on him and were getting handcuffed and taken away.
Whoa.
So you can imagine being in a wedding reception line and just not knowing if the next guy up to you is just going to punch you out. So
There's a lot of
rave
people who
on
don't
him for
like
doing
him, I'm sure.
he's
He's
well
a
hated.
dick.
Well hated. So they're going to
Yeah.
review vapor lounges. Our counter punch to the guy who once smoked pot and got caught in Florida,
Yeah.
the mayor, is
Right.
that they're going to they should license us. And,
Right.
you know,
Do you
license
think
a
they'll
lot.
go for it though? Isn't he like a notorious asshole, and will he just stand on principle?
Well, the idea is with Mike Layton is that we're going to be able to at least tie them up for a good long time. And council, you know, it's almost 2/3. They got 2 terms, 2 years left, and 2.5 years.
Right.
So, you know, we can make this a big issue and get there. Toronto does have licensed massage parlors with the happy ending.
Right.
And so they went that way. Oh yeah, they found out. They're like, we accidentally,
about it.
yeah, we accidentally licensed massage parlors with happy endings, and they're like, well, there's nothing we can do about it now. So
Right.
we're trying to move in that same direction, the exact same direction by saying just license these places. They're already here.
I just worry that once they give it to you, then they take it away, and then they really crack down on you. But still, I agree. You gotta make these steps because then it becomes more legitimized. Simple as that.
We're calling it
worth
the
the risk, I
upload
guess.
plan. I mean, we have to do something. They're coming anyway.
Right. They're coming to investigate at the very least.
So you got to start playing. Like, you gotta
But what could
start
that mean? That could mean next to nothing in some cases, or maybe they want to shut you guys down.
They could create a new bylaw that says you can't vaporize marijuana,
Right.
or you can't smoke marijuana indoors. Or
Right.
I mean, there is in Toronto a no marijuana growing law.
Right. Yeah. And you.
Growing marijuana.
That was what
In Toronto.
Matt's problem here was.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? On your balcony.
Yeah. So Toronto is notorious for doing some marijuana shenanigans, and we just have a counter. We'd like to see Mike Layton take the bull by the horns. He is a good little socialist, so
Right.
and have
Thanks,
him
Dan.
recommend permits. And essentially the permit like I have, the Section 56 exemption. So, and this is what goes further, is that we're going to request that Toronto City Council get these permits via like the idea of Insight,
Right.
which has a permit to allow, you know, drug use, like injection drug use. They have a Section 56. So
We need a safe inhalation site.
a safe inhalation site, that's what we should call it.
Yeah.
And they should get exemptions issued to them by the federal minister. And we're going to ask Toronto City Council to go to the minister and say, hey, we want one of these permits.
Yeah. Well, that's the way to do it. And so
I
is
hope.
everybody on board?
Chris Goodwin is, you know, nervous like you about the issuing of permits. You know, he's like they could only issue 10 maybe, or they can do anything. I mean, he's
You almost did an impression of him there.
You know,
Yeah, you kind of sounded just like him there for a second.
but he is a strong freedom fighter. I mean, he's more freedom like libertarian,
Yeah.
where I'm a socialist.
Whenever we have a telephone conversation, it ends up going on for like an hour and a half, and we just
Yeah.
talking about one topic, and but it's a riveting conversation.
Always.
There we go. Look at that.
Abby from the Hot Block is definitely on
That
board
looks cool.
heavily. She's working with Mr. Moon extensively and collecting signatures for her petition. Yeah. Collecting signatures for her petition to say, hey, we like these places. Vapor Social on College and Dovercourt going down and saying hello to those guys. Brand new lounge out there. On board with that. So we have the lounges on board. This is the plan.
Cool.
Whether or not I think it's a good one. I believe in the plan, so.
We should have like one of those groups that, like CAMCD, that unionizes them all into one sort of thing. Not that you actually would unionize them, but that you would
Well,
use
Normal
the
Canada is going
combined
to
resources to Normal Canada. Oh, that's
Normal
good.
Canada under the director Paul Lewin.
Any advocacy groups on your side.
Yeah. So they're going to do that work.
Credibility, of
The
course.
Normal Canada is doing the work on that. So
Cool.
we're very happy.
Yeah, Normal
about it.
Canada, they're doing a lot of stuff lately.
Especially in
Stepping up.
Ontario.
Yeah.
I don't know out here, but in Ontario, quite extensively.
And Boris was at the convention as a delegate for the Liberals
Yeah,
and
he's a strong.
pushing hard from within our
Strong
Liberal
Liberal.
Party. Yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah, it's cool. So I wanted to talk about other stuff here. There was the poll I talked about. So that was that people across Canada want to legalize and regulate in large numbers, all the parties, even conservatives. But there's also a study out that marijuana smoke is not as damaging to your lungs as cigarette smoke. And did we watch this already on Greg's show? I can't remember if this is the clip from CNN. We watched a CNN clip on Marijuana Man's show, but I'm not sure if that was the one. I don't
are
think
you
it was.
high?
I'm very high.
No wonder.
I'm very
that.
high.
You
No,
have
no, this is a different one. This is the study from the
Tissue?
university, I believe. No, I don't need a tissue.
You having technical problems there, buddy?
No,
Can't
I
remember
just
what day of the week it is? Is that the problem? Marijuana, like,
Grandpa's
we
getting a little old. No, I don't.
Can we play this
I
on
think-
Greg's show? I don't know.
we
I
did-
can't remember.
We didn't play it on Greg's
Oh,
show.
now you think you didn't play. Did you or didn't you?
No, we didn't.
Are you sure?
And I'm gonna play
Are
it
you
for you
really
guys.
high? 'Cause maybe that's what's
Trying to
wrong.
psych me out? Ooh, I'm faster, baby. Rope a dope.
I'll smoke as
You're
much
fast.
dope as possible, but not.
I'll tire you out though.
All right.
Play out the ropes. I'll keep leaning back. Oh. Have you seen what the hell is the name of that movie?
Rocky?
No, we
Are
played
you sure?
we played the theme from Rocky.
I've
No,
seen that
When We
many
Were
times.
Kings, I believe it's called.
Yes. Muhammad Ali. I'm a big Muhammad Ali fan. He's going to be an influence for the upcoming court case March 5th and 6th.
Ah,
I have been
he's going to
watching.
be an influence for the court case.
Oh, yeah, I had Rocky as an influence on the first one, so now I've moved on to real, like Muhammad Ali. I
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
know, I do smoke like a butterfly.
Right.
I float like a bee.
You are a butterfly.
It's true.
Get
So
this guy a tissue.
he's a big influence. Muhammad Ali, I've been reading
He's
Hunter S. Thompson.
fantastic, man. Ali, and I like him because of his personality.
Yeah.
His hilarious
Mike
personality
skills.
to the media, and just the way he had them running circles, the media just fawning over him.
And
Because he
that's
was so
so
hilarious.
Have you queued up that video? You can't remember what you played.
Yeah, here's the video. It's queued up.
Are you sure you
Well,
got
it's
it
just
queued up?
about-
I've seen that a lot of technical problems here, but
Wow,
you're
no. There's always technical problems on this show. Trust me. No, here, we're fine. Okay, watch this, guys. I believe this is from the university who did the study. But we'll find out soon enough.
New research from UAB published in the Journal of the American Medical Association shows occasional marijuana use isn't as harmful to lung function as smoking cigarettes. UAB's Stefan Cortez is the study's senior author.
We wanted to understand what are the changes in lung function that happen at increasing levels of marijuana use. As you know, marijuana is increasingly used in American society today, and people are out there who've been using it for many years, and there's been a less than clear picture about what effects marijuana has.
In 2009, nearly 17 million Americans say they used marijuana. And since 1996, 16 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized the medical use of marijuana. While tobacco and marijuana smoke both contain many of the same chemical irritants, Cortez says there are inconsistencies in the research on marijuana's impact on lung function. For the study, Cortez and the research team looked at data from the 20-year Cardia study. As part of the Cardia protocol, participants' lung function was measured in airflow and lung volume at 0, 2, 5, 10, and 20 years.
In the moderate levels of marijuana use range, and that's a definition we came up with, a range of marijuana use that would be seen among many Americans, there was actually an increase in airflow rates. That's actually the opposite of what we saw with tobacco. There was also an increase in lung volumes, again the opposite of what was seen with tobacco.
But Cortez says the increase does not hold steadfast over time.
At very high levels of exposure to marijuana, that relationship changes. It flattens out, and there's a hint of a loss of lung function at those very high levels of use.
Cortez cautions that the study did not take into account other ways smoking marijuana could impact a person's health, and that this study in no way advocates the use of marijuana.
Among those Americans who smoke marijuana, at the range of levels of use that you would say, there's generally not harm to lung function as measured by these common office tests. That doesn't mean that there's no adverse effects of marijuana use. People get a cough, they get irritated airways. Marijuana, like alcohol, like any substance, has a lot of complicated effects on the human body.
Get sound effects all the time.
So that guy was totally high.
He was high. Everybody in the chat was like, man, that dude's high.
Yeah, he did look high.
I'm high.
Agreed.
Are you high?
And that big tank. Yeah, I'm pretty high. I
I
feel
want
like
to
I
get
hit
in
that
like
tank.
a fridge box and have vapor pumped.
We should have another bomb ramp, I think.
That last bomb rip killed me.
Oh.
What do you want to smoke, buddy? Want to try some of this?
Yeah, we could.
Did we try the LA Confidential yet?
I don't know. Show it to the audience here. Here, I'll put this in front.
Can I see that?
Oh yeah, they can see that.
Did you want to mention your opinion on the
Oh.
Quizo run?
Oh yeah, we're I've since like I've been in Vancouver, I have learned that iso and butane is not good for my liver,
Right.
regardless of like how many vacuum purges it goes through.
Right.
So I'm swearing off my diet. I'm no longer have a diet of butane or iso.
I'm glad to hear it.
Do you have a diet of that?
Well, I don't usually hit extracts made with those. I don't smoke a lot of butter or anything, and I really don't hit.
There's a
oil that
lot
much.
of oil heads that vapor.
Yeah, there are around here. I will occasionally take one if it's passing by, but I don't buy any of it myself. I don't have to set up to do it or anything. So
I don't do that. So, and we just did a run of we made some hash before coming out here. We tumbled it in the Holland Master that you can get from greenharvest.ca.
Right.
Me and the team of hash mobbers, we tumbled up quite a chunk of hash, and we're gonna
Nice.
put that video up on our YouTube eventually. We have a lot
Hash
of
mob
video.
YouTube.
Now we have a lot of video coming up on Mernahuana, but I just haven't gotten to it. And then I was working with the weed guy this week, and
Right. He's
did
the video man. He's got his video guy. He hires a guy to follow him around a video camera.
Yeah, there was a guy following us around. Like, he met me at the airport with the video camera. This guy's part of the trip was that, he would follow me around. I should have got him to follow me around yesterday when I went to, like, UBC and Stanley Park and Granville Island.
Yeah. You should be recording all of this.
Well, I like privacy, too.
No, yeah, sure. You privacy with that Twitter account. Every 5 minutes, it's like all you. I'm like, well,
I'm glad it's all me.
I'm not complaining.
When you've got 8,500 people,
I wouldn't be following it if I didn't like it.
I try and retweet movies too.
I've noticed that. Why do you think I'm following you?
A lot of guys follow me so they can find like the girls that not free cam.
Insightful things you have to say about movies.
Well, I know more about bloods.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's true.
Probably.
You have on the front page of Cannabis Culture right now. There's still your strains. What is it? 2011 of them in the end.
2010 guide to marijuana strains. People take that shit seriously, man. Like, I had to go really heavy through it. That I'm going to keyword my blog.
There was 11 in total.
11 in total of fantastic marijuana found in Toronto.
You want to hit this first, or should I?
No, you should hit it.
Okay.
I'm going to hit the big. So I review marijuana sort of like Lester Banks does, and Rolling Stone and those guys. I believe that it should be fun, sort of entertaining, but also information too. I don't like reading these guys that like, this is an FQ blah blah blah. I'm like, man, I know what you're talking about, but really I don't want to read it. So I'm kind of fussy about what I read, and so that's what I'm hoping with my book. What else you got going on here?
Wow. That was pretty good.
That was good.
I'm really high now.
I'm really high now.
Wow.
I just wrecked you with that LA Confidential that I grew from DNA Genetics. LA
That's very
Confidential. It's really heavy Afghani.
Whew.
It's beauty. I love it. Quite extensively. It's a little bit difficult to grow. Didn't grow as much as I wanted it to do.
Tell us about the rest of them.
I brought LSD from Barney's Farm, which is one of those ones where people talk about badly named marijuana.
Right.
It's kind of hard. LSD from Barney's Farm. Only got
it could be a little confusing to somebody.
It was confusing to me, but very nice sativa with a body buzz, so I can write on that. I can hang out on my computer, which is one of my problems, not being able to sit for long. So this allows me to sit for a while. I also brought this lilac kush, which is from my personal friend Sarah Sunday. We're going to start a website with her called Sarah Sunday School.
Nice.
So this is something she's been developing, this lilac kush. One of the phenos she's found that we really, really enjoy. Let's see here. I showed them that. This is, Cedar was saying smells like eucalyptus. I'll pull that out. This is another one of Sarah's.
Oh, right, that's the eucalyptus one. This one's cool.
This is the OG18. And yeah, Sarah goes out.
They can see that.
Can they see that? Can you see that?
Hold on a second there.
Is it coming
Yeah,
out?
it's trying to focus.
Should I move back a bit?
Oh, there you go.
Nice. So
really
my
nice.
friend Sarah Sunday works on the phenotypes and
That looks
pops
good.
the seeds. I pop a lot of seeds because I get a lot of free seeds and
Yeah.
kind of curious to do that type of stuff. It's fun right now. And so this is the OG18, and I have a little bit of that left. And it'll probably go on my reserve when I get back home for the Goodwin Gorman wedding at the Global Marijuana March. Are you coming out this year?
Well, I don't. Yeah, I think we are. I think we're both Jody and I will probably be coming out.
It's 40,000 people in Toronto.
Yeah. The Global Marijuana March last time was fantastic there. I just had a great time.
I had a good time.
Took a lot of photos and
Brought
some videos.
I brought a 6-foot tall marijuana plant.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
marched around with that.
Marched around with that. And,
you were leading the march with.
No, we were at the end
Oh,
with
you were at
the
the
mini.
end. Right.
The idea being is that we could at least slow the march down, because if
I
everybody
remember that.
surges to the front at the Global Marijuana March, and it ends up being this peak of like, and the
Yeah.
cops are really opposed to that in Toronto now. They're like, man, you guys got to figure this out. So we had to break
Really?
people up. Oh yeah, they were really like, the
They didn't
march
like
has
it.
gotten so big that it's a logistic nightmare. So
Well, they had it all blocked off with motorcycle
Exactly.
cops.
We get and we get
crazy.
4 streets, and then when we turn the four lanes on Bloor, or 2 lanes on Bloor, but when we turn the corner on Yonge, they give us all 8 lanes.
Right.
So it opens up quite quickly. So it goes like this, and then it opens up. So the idea was to break it down into like a parade
Yeah.
with groups. So we broke up the Treating Yourself guys who put on the TY Expo. They put their banner. We had
Yeah.
the Trip, which is the Toronto rave. Kids that check, make sure your drugs are safe and not, full of just crap when you buy your
Right.
ecstasy. So we
And
broke
how
it
do
up
they-
into all different groups.
Reading about those tests. Do you know anything
I don't
about
know
those tests?
anything about those
No, I don't
tests.
know.
I know.
I was looking into it a little bit, and they look pretty legit.
Yeah.
There's interesting ways of doing it, but pill testing.
After still testing. So we're gonna try even harder this year to organize some parade.
Is
like,
it still going to be? It's going to be broken up like that again.
Yeah. Just because of it's such a logistic nightmare for the cops. 2 years ago we demonstrated that we could have pushed right through them because they weren't paying attention,
Right.
and they didn't appreciate that. We found out at the time. I'm like, man, you guys almost started
Well, why-
right there. I'm like, well, we wanted to go a couple blocks further than you wanted us to.
Right.
So
Wow.
like the
Yeah, I think
response.
Crystal knew all that.
Yeah, the response the following year was like, we'll break it up, but you have to allow us to break it up, and so you kind of hem and haw. So it's always people. You have to realize it's always a give and take.
Well, I have one over there for you.
I was gonna hit this paper bag.
Oh, okay.
Hit that wrong.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I hit this paper bag first.
Perfect. What else we got? So how long's your show? Are we overtime?
Yeah, we're way over time now.
All right, we'll go for 7 more minutes because I'm getting the munchies. You getting the munchies?
I definitely have the munchies. I've had them for a while. I've had them all day.
Vancouver's a very foodie city.
There's many restaurants all around. Although in this neighborhood, I'm so tired of all the restaurants I've been in so many times.
Oh.
I just want to find a new restaurant.
I went today. My buddy Spencer from GreenHarvest.ca took me to the Sunrise Breakfast Place, which is a
Where's that?
1950s diner. Dude, don't ask me where's that.
Sunrise.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Well, I was waiting.
West Broadway in Kits.
Broadway.
Oh.
West Broadway in Kits.
West Broadway. Okay.
See, dude, don't ask me. I'm the passenger, man. I'm like
2600
He
blocks.
was
or
in
something.
2600 block.
Okay. There you go.
It was awesome.
There you
Elvis
go.
was there.
Elvis?
Yeah, they got.
He was
big-
your waiter?
No, they wasn't our waiter. I was hoping Maryland would be our waiter, but they have all those style. It was really a
Fresh
great
orange
diner.
juice, fresh squeezed orange juice, organic
Oh.
eggs, black hot potatoes.
And the I had
Awesome.
BC Benny, which was a salmon eggs Benedict, fantastic. And then she allowed me because I was like, oh, I'm from Toronto, my buddy Spencer here. He's like, this is the best place to go for breakfast. And she's like, oh, I'll order 2 up, and then you will just divide it. I had the traditional Benny, and just fantastic food here.
Yeah.
And of course, Sita, who has been putting me up in her lovely house,
Sita.
has been
She's
feeding
here.
me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
You've
she
been-
made almond milk, and she found out I'm dairy free.
So you are a chef.
Oh, she's got lots of hosting talent.
Nice.
I've been put up
Well,
by a lot
I'm
of great
coming-
people.
I'm gonna
in
have to
Vancouver.
stay for a while then. I'll be visiting. Got an extra spot on the couch. This guy only weighs 80 pounds.
I know.
We can
snuggle
squeeze in.
up together.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if your girlfriend would.
In the guest room.
There you go. You can
She
come
can
snuggle
squeeze
up.
in too.
Oh. Oh.
So can see that.
All right. You're really
And
hot.
throw Marius in there
Oh, I
too.
can see right on your knees.
Hey, we got kids in the studio.
The kid's blushing too.
Marijuana man's gotta be really hot.
All right.
Alright. Well, yeah, we didn't talk about that last video clip, which was that
high
marijuana
guy.
smoking isn't as damaging to lungs as cigarette smoking, this
I
new
knew
study has pointed out.
Really?
Right, we already knew that. Most people, it seems like science is figuring out what we've known intuitively.
I thought there was already studies on that.
There was about 20 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This is just another one.
Nothing but studying.
Right.
Tired. I
Nothing
think
but
just
studying.
smoke it. Don't
But
study it.
this one actually found that lung capacity may be improved by marijuana smoking.
No, it also works at improving Pilates. I go to Ugly Pilates. See, I'm just like working that lifestyle, right?
Right.
Go to Ugly and you
That's where those abs are
That's
coming
right.
from.
That's where all this
Yeah.
power comes from, baby. You know, you gotta be able. You can't be sitting on your couch eating a cheeseburger, thinking you can be a cannabis champion of the world, or even a guy like Jeremiah. Like, you gotta be put in effort and be professional.
Oh,
You gotta grow
clever,
strains. You gotta
clever.
find strains. You know, you gotta be out the road.
That's right.
That style profile, man. Wearing a tie, crisp shirt.
It's green.
I know, crisp shirt.
It's pretty crisp.
We got crisp shirts there.
It's pretty crisp.
We got 4
That's
minutes. Where's 420? It's
Yeah.
always 420 somewhere.
Right, it is. It's gonna be 420. Wait, somewhere out in the ocean.
Alaska, perhaps.
Yeah, Alaska. Maybe Hawaii? No,
No, not yet.
not yet.
3 hours.
We're not going that long. We're going to the munchies after this.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. This was awesome.
That's my new collectible hobby. I'm trying to find Hostess munchies. You're too young to remember the munchies. They're like these little figures.
No, I remember them.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah, sure, I remember.
All right, so they're like
The
these
Hostess
little-
guys.
The Hostess guys.
There's
The Hostess
3
munchies.
of them in different colors.
Yeah, they're trippy.
Yeah.
So that's my new collectible hobby. If you have any of them, just send them to my P.O.
The
box.
dolls?
Yeah, if there's dolls or anything.
I remember Much Music would give them away at one point. They had the little Munchie doll, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they gave it away because they were one of the main sponsors of Much Music.
So if you have any munchie dolls out there, please send them to me. I'm collecting them. You won't see that on American Pickers or Canadian Pickers or anything. That's the type of stuff I'm looking
I
for.
don't know what that is.
You don't know what Canadian Pickers is? They go around to people's garages and they buy stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't buy bongs or anything. On Storage Wars, you watch Storage Wars?
No.
On Storage Wars, they came across a stash of High Times ones, which is you've been on storage lockers and
Nice.
they're like, a whole bunch of stash of High Times and mini mags. So,
Very cool.
yeah.
And what did they bid on that?
No, they don't get to see it in advance.
Oh, they just said like.
It's like a treasure
It
hunting
looked, I
show.
remember, I haven't seen the show, but I've seen clips of it or something.
My friends at the Soto's restaurant at Corso Italia, see, living that way.
Jeez,
Where I go there, that's what we do on
Cannabis
Tuesday
Slim.
night. I hang out with the Corso Italians in my neighborhood, and we discuss
Nice.
local politics, drink beer from made in Ontario, craft beer. You know, it's got to be primo good beer, like I had at Granville Island. See, they tweeted me.
Yeah,
See, living the life.
Granville Island tweeted you.
Granville Island tweeted. God bless those people.
Bless the tweets.
I'm a big fan of the Twitter, not so much of the Facebook.
That's right. But you do have a Facebook account
Oh,
as
of
well.
course, everybody's got Facebook. I got my own Facebook fan page. I think it's like facebook.com/Mernahuana or Matt Mernagh. I can't remember.
Tweets don't go through to your Facebook page though.
I gotta do that. I gotta get to my social
It's
media.
easy to do.
I know.
I don't know.
I don't have people.
But see, you do so many tweets a day. It's a lot.
I know.
But that's good though.
Yeah,
I wish
love it.
I'm envious that I wish I could do that. I just don't have the time for something.
I use the HT Sensation.
I don't think about it. I guess it doesn't take much
Hooked me
to
up
tweet.
with another one.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, this one's
Sponsored? See, you have more patches on your HTC and
Trojans on my craft or something.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
1 minute to go before we end your show.
Yeah,
Who's doing that last bonger?
you are.
That's true.
That one's yours.
You're gonna get my. Do you have my
I did
music?
this one already, and it was really delicious, and I'm still coughing from it.
I have a theme. That,
Oh yeah, you want to hear the music again?
there, and this will be our outro music.
Yeah. Oh,
Here, who's going Jones and going crazy?
Kirk. Oh, thanks to Kirk.
Thanks,
for
Kirk
coming on.
Tousaw, for coming.
Kirk
I don't
Tousaw.
even talk to him,
Oh yeah, I know. I was going to
but
get
we're
your
having
input for
technical
sure.
woe, and you're gonna light it for me. There we go.
Okay. Here it is.
Yeah. Thanks, Vancouver, for having me. Good to be here, Jeremiah.
Thanks for coming. We love when you're here. The big ball rip. And what was this stuff again?
LA Confidential.
Yeah,
Whoa, that hit hard.
that's good stuff. Nice work. Look at that thing. Swung it like a champ.
Good to be here, buddy.
Thanks for coming on, man. Oh, I love it. You're staying at my house tonight, right? All right. Thanks for watching, guys. You went.
Good to be here.
It's 4:20 somewhere.
It's always 4:20 in chaos.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. And thanks for everybody who chilled out in the audience here. Marius for watching the chat. We didn't.
Marijuana Man.
Yeah, we didn't even gauge who was the champ. It's safe to say.
I'm coming back this summer.
I don't want to make you give up this belt. I couldn't make you give up this belt. So I think you've got to hold it. With the selection you brought, you're holding the title. You hold the title. I'll throw the towel in on that one.
Alright.
I don't want to steal this belt from you. It's too pretty.
See how I fly?
We'd have to get the name changed.
Yeah, we would.
That would be frightening. I don't know if my name would fit.
I don't know, we might have to design it like a lightweight belt for it.
A lightweight. I probably weigh twice what you weigh.
Well, we'll find you
You
next time we're in the weightlifting store.
Tell them the story about the small belt.
Well, I had to go to the weightlifting shop to find the belt. And the guys were like, geez, are you ill or something?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my friend Jillian Hollander at Cupid's designed it.
That's funny. Oh, that's cool.
Tiffany staff bag.
Nice.
All right, we're out of here.
All right. Peace, guys.